topic 2. Okay. So what I thought we'd do for this topic is to pick a film that already exists or to create one that doesn't from IPs in other forms of media and cast the film or films ourselves. So think of this like a fantasy football league but for films. So yeah, we've both picked a film quite wildly different or whatever. So who wants to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, my one's going to be a little bit convoluted because it's like based on an anime, so there's a lot of Japanese names and shit in there, and I'm going to butcher them, okay, and get them completely wrong. So what I've decided to do with this is, like, basically, you could cast it all as Japanese actors or whatever, but that's going to be really difficult to actually sell, like, as a Hollywood film. So I've just mixed it up a little bit, and what I made it is, like, because it's like a fantasy world, I'll have it think of it more like a multicultural sort of thing. I know that wasn't the case back in like the day with Japan. They were quite like closed off and like secular in those regards back in the day. They didn't really want to, mess with any other countries and stuff, or like, I'm sure they did trade and things, but like, they didn't really have a lot of foreigners in their country or whatever. But obviously it's a fantasy setting. Plus, if you look at the characters of this film in the film, a lot of them look Western anyway, so yeah, anyway, the film is Ninja Scroll. So if people haven't seen that, it's sort of like, it's a bit of like of an old school, it's like a late 90s manga, and if you haven't seen it and you're into anime in any regards, I'd highly recommend it. It's like probably my favorite anime / manga film. I'd probably give the top spot in general to something like Dragon Ball Z, but yeah, I figured we'd go with this one. So yeah, so the main character is Jubei, and I was struggling with him because I was thinking sometimes, when you put too much emphasis on like a character, you think, how could anyone fill those shoes? So I would either go with put just a complete random that nobody's ever heard of, or I don't know how his acting skills are, but I like his look, and I've seen him in a film that's kind of like Crouching Tiger. I forget what it's called. Something about flying daggers or something. I think I can't remember.
House of
that might be
Daggers?
It. Do you know the one where there's all green bamboo and they're all?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, House of Flying Daggers. I'm sure it is.
He's one of the guys in that. He's half Japanese, half Chinese, I think. But he's also Samanusuke in Onimusha. He's the motion cap. Like his likeness was captured or whatever for Onimusha. So he's Samanusuke as well. So I thought he'd be a really cool look, and he seemed good in that House of Flying Daggers or whatever it's called. Good enough anyway. Yeah. So if he was as competent an actor as he seems, I'd probably set him or a random. That would be my shot with that, because it's like Goku. Who would you set? Who would you cast? You can't. It's like he's a superhero. Do you know what I mean? He's like the king of superheroes in my mind. It's like, I don't know how you'd cast him. Like, casting Superman's difficult enough, but casting Goku.
But like Superman, you can kind of I don't know. Like even with Superman though, like Superman's still got like a standard like stereotypical human element to him. Do you know what I mean? He's still got the slick hair and like the human build and stuff. And I know Goku's got the human build, but like, how are you gonna make one of our everyday actors look like Goku with the big wild fucking hair and not
when they
ridiculous?
go Super Saiyan? How are you gonna do that? That's a difficult. That's a difficult. And often what's gonna happen is someone's just gonna totally fuck it up, and it's gonna be Dragon Ball Evolution. Yeah. So. And that was shocking. But I think the difference is probably Goku's set in a universe that's foreign to ours and doesn't exist, whereas Superman, although he's like fantastical, the universe he's set in is our universe in a lot of like films and comics and whatnot. So
yeah, definitely,
it works off as more plausible. Right. So in Ninja Scroll, there's there's these 4 demons, and then there's like their boss, or I think it's 4, I can't remember. Anyway, there's these like quote unquote demon characters, and they've all got like special abilities and whatnot. So one of the first ones you come across is, again, gonna butcher it, Tessai. Basically, he's a guy who can turn to stone at will, or rock, if you will, and therein leads the pun. I would pick the Rock to cast him.
Okay.
So, because he's a really big muscly dude. I'm not doing it just for the pun, by the way. He's a really big muscly dude. And yeah, and like he's like massive and stuff.
Just googled him. So, yeah, I could see that working.
So I think he'd look cool. Plus, when he's in his like rock formation, he'll be all like, you know, like either make-upped up or CGI'd up or whatever. So yeah, I think we should also point out you've got a cough or whatever. So if you're coughing throughout some of this,
yeah, sorry,
you'll have to be excused or whatever. So just if you're wondering why she's hacking up like a 40 a day smoker, then you know why. So right, the next one is I'm gonna go with the big bad guy, Genma, and I figured I'd go for him. It was a bit of a tricky one because I thought the Rock might also suit him because it's like of his build and stuff. But I figured Vin Diesel might be a good enough character because Genma doesn't have a huge emotional range anyway. He's kind of quite stoic. Yeah. So I reckon Vin Diesel could pull it off, and he's got that look. I mean, he's a bit short, but he's like well built and stuff. So.
Yeah, he's pretty hunch. Yeah, maybe the hair might be an issue.
Yeah, but that's not in it. Wigs and stuff. You'll be surprised how many.
Vin Diesel with a wig.
Yeah, but that Genma's hair's not like crazy, and you can modify it a little. It's open to artistic interpretation.
I guess so.
So yeah,
I'll tell you on that one.
So I think he'd be quite good, and I reckon he could pull it off. So yeah, the next one is Yurimaru, and he's Genma's right hand man. I don't know if you'd ever get the person I think to do this, which would be Tom Cruise, because you wouldn't think of it now as because he's Mr. Action Star or whatever, but he did some like pretty like adventurous roles back in the day. Like he did like one where he's like a Vietnam vet or whatever, and you know it was quite it wasn't an action film, it was like Oscar worthy sort of film.
All right.
So I think he'd be good in this role, and when he's talking, I think he could pull off like the sort of mild mannered but really calculating and like intelligent or whatever role of this character. But the character's gay in it, I think, or at least bi, and Tom Cruise is like a mad Scientologist. He's not mad as in crazy, although that's up to interpretation, but like he's big into Scientology now, and they probably wouldn't like that he would be playing a bi or gay character.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's fucking acting, ain't it? I think they kind of they've got to give some kind of pass.
But have you noticed recently? Have you noticed recently that all he's done is like he's been the hero in like the? I mean, obviously he's going to do that to a certain degree, but he's been the big action character, whereas back in the day he's been in like lots like all sorts of like political, more motivated Oscar type films, whereas these days he's the Mr. Popcorn action man, and a lot of people think this is. Yeah, but is that just because
like having a bit of a? Because I've seen a couple of his like recent movies. I can't remember what. Oh God.
They're not bad films.
I've seen Jack Reacher. That was terrible.
Which one? The first one was alright.
Yeah, it was alright. It was just so.
It was good.
Lame. Anyway, what was that other one that like he's in with Olivia Wilde in it? No, not.
You mean the one where he's going through time and stuff? Did you not like that? I quite liked it.
No, I liked that. I liked that one. I thought that was really.
I thought I was gonna hate it going into it.
Yeah.
But I actually quite liked it.
No, I was quite impressed with that. Like he is quite decent, and I find that like a lot of these actors, it's like Leonardo DiCaprio. The older that they've got, their acting has just been like phenomenal. Like I won't put him on the same level, but I do find that like compared to his like early movies and stuff, the older he gets, the better he's getting. He
is a good actor, and he did some really worthy films like 15 years ago. But he's like just kind of stuck to action these days, and like I was saying, a lot of people think that might be linked to Scientology.
Maybe he's just having like a midlife crisis.
It could be. It could be nothing to do with it. I mean, you don't know. Still not so. Well, yeah, I think
it like from the Google images, because obviously I haven't got a clue what it is. Well, I know what it is.
You've seen it though, haven't you? I swear we made you watch it.
No.
Like forced you, tied you down.
Yeah, there's
and made
loads
you
of
watch
crap
it.
that used to force me to watch.
Not really.
Like Star Trek.
I don't. Well, not really.
Yeah,
It's just it was on and you'd be in the room or whatever. I remember one of the earliest films we were watching or whatever, and we were like keeping an eye on you for some reason was Terminator 2, and you couldn't have been more than like 6 or something.
Really?
Well, you might have been a little bit older, but yeah, you were like way too young to be watching that.
Yeah, I was watching, like, there was that, and then there was what's it called? Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, that can be kind of freaky for little kids at certain points.
Well, yeah, it's right freaky. And I'm sure
what's
I was
he-
watching like Alien when I was like 8 or 9 or something.
Well, that wasn't anything to do with me.
I think that was something to do with Lou.
Yeah.
Blame her.
That's not a good film to watch. To be fair though, I watched that when I was like 10, 11, so.
Yeah, but like, I'm more scared now with like films than I was back then. I was hard on nails when it came to watching films. Now I'm a big fairy.
It probably didn't sink in though, did it? Back in the day.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, no, I think Tom Cruise, from like looking at the pictures of Yurimaru, I think he could quite do it. He's got like that hair for it and everything, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's got like his voice even kind of sounds a little bit to the English version. Obviously, I don't know what the Japanese version's really like. I mean, I've seen the Japanese version, but I don't remember it the same way I remember the dubbed version. So
yeah,
but yeah, I think he'd be good, and he's kind of almost like mild mannered but really smart and calculating. I think he'd pull that off really well. So
I think it's cool.
Next, I'm going to go for Kagero. Again, I'm probably murdering it. She's the woman who's like the romantic interest or whatever of Jubei. So, and she's also like, she's got like poison powers and stuff. I figured it'd be good to like throw some more like Japanese like actors in the mix or whatever. So there's so the person I picked is Koyuki Kato, who is the woman in The Last Samurai, who's like the, you know, again, the love interest for Tom Cruise, who we were just talking about. See, it all connects. 7 degrees of separation or whatever. Yeah, I thought she'd be kind of cool because I'm trying to think, like, I can think of good male Japanese actors, but it's really hard to think of good, like, not good, sorry, that's a bad way of saying it, but like well known in Hollywood or whatever. And it's really difficult for the actresses to think of any. So yeah, I went with her. Because she's, you know, moderately well known. I think she's quite well known in Japan as well. So
yeah,
and she acted quite well in Last Samurai. I love that film. I think that film's fucking dope. But yeah, so I thought.
No, I thought, you know, I did. In all fairness, that is a good one as well. I did quite like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like really. I don't think it did super well, but you know, I really enjoyed that film. I think it's awesome. So. She was pretty cool in it. Then there's like the sort of, I don't know, there's like a bad girl character or whatever, and she's sort of like not really on anyone's side. You know, the one that like renegade. You kind of love to hate her and hate to love her and stuff. You know, that sort of character. So I was a bit. I couldn't really think of anybody like in particular, but I was just thinking maybe Angelina Jolie, because she can do that sort of like bad, good sort of. Yeah, like kind of like bitchy, but you like her sort of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I figured we'd go with her.
She's a good actress.
Yeah, she you know, she's been in good stuff, and I've like enjoyed the things she's been in or whatever. So she's pretty hot. So
yeah, that helps.
Yep, doesn't hurt. Next I'll go with Dakan. Again, I can't remember. You know how to pronounce it properly. I'm sure it's spoken in the film or whatever. But he's like the mentor. I say mentor in like quotes, and douchey air quotes, because it's questionable if you watch the film. / spy. And he's like this old dude or stuff, but he's like really skinny and stuff, and like there's no way you could sort of make it work, but I figured what I'd do with that is just do some like Benjamin Button style CG with it. So because he like there's a couple of points as well where he zips about and stuff, and if you're trying to get an older actor to do that, they're going to struggle. So I figured we'd do him in CG, but he'd be voiced by John Hurt. So
John Hurt,
because he's got a dope ass voice. Google him. he'll pop up. You'll recognize him. He's got a really good voice. He does like some documentaries and stuff. Who does he do? He does.
Oh, yeah.
He does a lot of voices. It's hard to think of.
He was in the original Alien.
Yeah.
V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Apparently he's in the new Hercules movie.
He does loads of like cool voiceover stuff as well. He's got a really good voice for it. So I thought he'd be quite cool. Now we're going into more like, I don't know, less important characters for the narrative or whatever, but like they're kind of cool characters. There's probably a bunch I've missed, but these are just the ones that popped up to me that, you know, are embedded in my memory. So these are some more of the demons. So Majuro Utsu, who's the blind samurai in the film, who I put for him is Hiroki Sanada, who again in Last Samurai is the second in command to Ken Watanabe's character. You know, the main Japanese dude in The Last Samurai. You know you know the guy who sort of doesn't get on with Tom Cruise at first, but then they're friends in the end. You know that guy.
Yeah.
So I thought he'd be cool, like as the blind samurai, and it'd be good to, you know, bring in some more Japanese characters, because people cry about the whole, like, you know, whitewashing of stuff like this, but if you filled it with all Japanese characters, it just wouldn't sell well in the West. It might be a better film for it, but it just wouldn't sell in the West. So
yeah,
you have to be realistic, you know, to a point if you want to sell it on, like, you know, a global scale. So
and it's exactly the same as if we were to use like all actors from, like, you know, Western actors for like Japanese movie. The people in Japan would be like, what the fuck's this?
Yeah. Like they would want their own films, although they probably do get annoyed with that to a certain point. But it's like what I like is that how they have their own thing, and then we also do it our way. Which I say our way, but it's usually Hollywood's way, and Hollywood usually fucks it up. But they have their way of doing it, like Death Note. They've had a couple of cool Death Note films, and they made them themselves. They did their own thing, and they were dope. So, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's cool. Like, let them do their own one as well, and, you know, like the West can do a more Hollywood version. More often than not, it'll fuck up, but, you know, they can still do it. So, yeah, the next character is called Shijima, and he's like this shadow character. He's like a shadow demon. His power is he can like go into the shadows and sort of like disappear and then teleport out of other shadows. And he's got this weird sort of claw arm thing that you can just shoot out, and it's got like a chain attached to it. So he's a pretty dope character, but he does something really creepy in the film. It's like only in a like Japanese anime or manga or whatever.
Do I dare ask?
I don't know how comfortable I am when I'm saying it.
Wow.
But I think we'll pass on that. It's not super.
Anyone who's curious can Google it.
It's bad, but it's not like I don't know. But it's not good. Anyway, so I figured what I would put for him is Andy Serkis, because again, this character, he's very much not a he's humanoid, but he doesn't look like a human. So and like, you know, although Andy Serkis might not per se look like him, he's like the master at bringing to life, you know, characters that are hard to humanize, if you will. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he did it with Gollum and Kong and stuff. So I think he'd be really good, and he's got a really good voice, so
cool.
He'd be cool for that. And then lastly is Mushiso, who's basically this like demon with like bees in his back. It's really hard to like. He's got like a hive in his back, like and he can like let out bees, and obviously that's a really, how do you defeat loads of bees with just a sword? It's quite difficult. I know, and he's kind of a cool. I think he's an underrated character. I'd put him like a bit more in the film, like, you know, if it was in my film, which it is because I'm inventing it in my head. And who I'd put for that is Simon Pegg, because I think he's cool. He can I'd like to see him do something like, you know, perhaps not per se comedy like wise involved in it, but you know, I think he could play off a cool like monster sort of character, and again trying to humanize him. I think he'd be good at that too. So yeah, that is my fantasy football style cast for Ninja Scroll. If you're listening, Hollywood, there you go. Here's a freebie for you. Just don't fuck it up, yeah?
Yeah, that's asking too much.
So that's my cool little thing. I'll probably pop up some pictures and shit on the screen. Like, you'll have probably known this by the point I say this, because, you know, I'll have already edited in. But yeah. Anywho, what is your film?
My film, I've gone for making a movie out of The Last of Us.
Yeah, that's gonna happen as well.
I kind of don't want it to be honest.
Yeah. Again,
I love
Hollywood
The Last of Us.
but...
It's like, I think it's quite a cinematic movie anyway. Do you know what I mean? How you get caught up in it, how they kind of like, how they tell the story, and the whole, like, even when it comes to like speaking to Ellie and like communicating with her, like, do you know what I mean? Like this it starts off as nothing, and then you start communicating with her more, and it's optional whether you talk to her and stuff, but you really get like a bond with her and stuff. So I think that, you know, for them to fucking make a movie out of it, God, I think they had no choice but to ruin it, to be honest.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of talk. There's talk in it, and I think most people are like, they'd like to see it, but they also wouldn't for the same reasons.
Yeah.
But it set the new bar in video games for
100%.
For storytelling in a like you know, a theatrical movie sense. Do you know what I mean? On that sort of scale or whatever. Like, it's not like we've not had great stories, but they've not done it in a, you know, very film-esque way. I can't think of the word for it, but yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
I love the way it's played out. I love the way they've dropped bits of information in here and there, and I think it's a fantastic game. Like I said, I've just finished it the other day from playing the remastered version again, and it's just phenomenal. But the first one, obviously, let's go for Ellie. The obvious pick would obviously be Ellen Page.
Because she looked like her.
She looks so much like her.
Here's the thing, though. Are you doing The Last of Us as in the story from that, or like? Because if you're doing a sequel, you know, you can age-wise, like Ellen Page is like quite, you know, she's probably like 20s, early 30s. I mean, she looks young still, but
she does look young. Yeah, you're right. It's fucking CGI and shit now, though. Like, think about, have you ever seen Looper with Bruce Willis and that Gordon Joseph Levitt?
I don't think that's CGI. I think that's just makeup.
Yeah, no. They did his face up. They put like prosthetics on, and they CGI'd his face so he looked more like Bruce Willis. Yeah. Yeah. Because I thought that was a fantastic film. I thought that was brilliant.
Have you seen Benjamin Button like that?
Yeah.
That's like great. It looks so realistic. I'm sure in about 10-15 years we'll be like, oh, those graphics are shit. But right now it's like that looks. It looks fantastic, like how you think, how the fuck they do that shit? They must have took hours and hours to CGI.
Well, yeah, definitely. But they could like polish the face off a little bit. It should be fine. But yeah, I think you couldn't pick anyone else. There's no one else that could compare to her. I mean, I was looking into it actually a while ago, and even though Ellen Page is, you know, like supposed to look like her now, they actually had to change it because Ellen Page kicked off, and there was a massive thing about it.
Really?
Because it was the same time that Beyond Two Souls was coming out, and obviously she was the character for that. They're both PlayStation 3 games. It was the same.
It is a little weird that she looks so much like her. Maybe they had her.
They had to change her. They had to change her face to look more like Ashley Johnson, who's the actual voice actress. But before, she even looks even more like Ellen Page. It's like weird if they've kind of gone, oh yeah, no, it's nothing to do with Ellen Page, then it's the biggest coincidence I've ever fucking seen.
They probably were keen on getting her involved, but then she probably had like contracts.
She was probably like already into Beyond Two Souls, wasn't she?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Which is bullshit.
But I don't see why they didn't focus on that Ashley Johnson bird or whatever, because she looks cool. She looks like attractive or whatever. So I don't see why you couldn't, you know, why you wouldn't just make them look like the person that's acting it, you know.
I guess so, but like I don't know. I'm kind of glad they didn't, because like Ellie in The Last of Us, if it was to be like she's like the character that Ellen Page plays in Juno, minus the pregnancy, but she's very like attitudey, she's very quirky, she's very kind of like determined and stubborn and stuff, and it's you know, I think she's done you know, a brilliant job, but you know, Ashley Johnson still did fantastic and stuff, but that's who I'd pick for that. To pick for Joel, who is the secondary main character, is I'd pick Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and which
Who's
is
that?
Negan. Negan, if you
Really?
have, yeah. I listen, right. Bear with me, yeah. I wouldn't pick him because he's Negan. I'd pick him because he was Sam and Dean's dad out of Supernatural. I've seen him have that kind of like that moodiness, that grumpiness and stuff.
Yeah,
but I've
but
also
still
seen
with the
yeah,
paternal instincts or whatever.
exactly. So I think he'd be like perfect for
There's
it.
a problem with that though. If that film was any time in the next few years, all anyone's going to see is Negan.
Negan.
He
yeah.
needs to be in something else that wipes the slate clean.
So if we were made like we should have, I don't know, we should have done this like a year ago or something. But no, yeah, 100%. Like that's all they'll see is Negan. But I've seen him in like a couple of things, and like he's even in PS I Love You.
He's been in stuff and like done different like roles and stuff, and like you say, yeah, you can like see it more from the what's the show called? I've had a brain fart.
Supernatural. What?
That's it. Yeah, you've seen him in that. Yeah, where he's like more paternal and stuff. But yeah, it's like it's hard to see him as anything else at the moment, because that scene where he's like bashing the skulls in and stuff, it's like seared into most people's minds. So
yeah, 100%. Like I can just like as soon as I think of him now, all I can see is him doing like holding Lucille and doing that weird little drop he does when he's like having one of his little speeches and he says something like in emphasis.
He loves his speeches, don't he?
I know, yeah.
And he's got a right shit-eating grin on him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the freaking. Oh, he's fantastic. Man. Who else have we got? Now, I mean, who else should I do next? I think like there's not really that many main characters after them two.
No, they are the main ones.
Yeah.
Have you got that weird dude who Ellie has to fight in that bar?
Ah, shite.
He would be a good one to cast because he's creepy as fuck, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
One guy, what's his name? He was actually out of Supernatural, actually. I can't remember what his name was. Oh no, it wasn't Azazel. Anyway, there's a guy. Yeah, I'll have to. Oh god, I can't believe I didn't do that one. There is a guy, but I can't think of his name. Ah, shit, the bed. Anyway, yeah, no, I can see who it is. There's a guy that played in Supernatural, and he's got this real creepy voice to him. And I just think he'd be perfect. He was also in.
Because he seems like he's so nice and friendly for a while he's playing coy, but it turns out actually a fucking cannibal.
Yeah, not only that, like, he's a bit creepy. Like,
is he like called Jonathan or something? I can't remember, something like that.
I don't know. I've just literally just played it and I don't even know. That's his name. Oh god, I don't even know if I can pronounce that. Christopher Heyerdahl, whoever the hell that he's a Canadian actor, apparently. But if you Google him, he's got this. I think he'd actually be really good. I've seen him in this Netflix series as well. That was slightly terrible.
I'll tell you who else
Van Helsing. And he's kind of got this wily look to him as well. I think he'd be quite good.
Yeah. I'll tell you who else might be quite good. You know the German guy in Inglourious Bastards?
No, I don't.
He'd probably be quite good. If he could get rid of the German accent and American it up, I think he'd be quite good.
See, this is what one of my other characters. You know the guy at the start of The Last of Us? I've completely forgot his name now. I'm really bad at this. I've literally just deleted it by mistake off my list. You know the one they're after at the start? And that's got all the guns and stuff.
Yeah, he like does them dirty on a deal or whatever.
Yeah, him. I'd cast as Bronn from. No, you don't, do you? Anyway, Game of Thrones guy. His name's Bronn. He's a fantastic actor. He's got like this perfect look for him, but he's got a proper British accent. He's proper like I don't know what kind of where he's from. It's a really sturdy, like a really strong accent, like probably on like country. That's Cornwall. I don't know where he's from. Huh? Yeah, northern kind of thing or whatever. But it's such a strong accent. If he could Americanise it, he'd be perfect for that guy.
Yeah. He's got kind of the look or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. The other person is Tess as well. She was quite in it for a start, to be honest, weren't she? I
Do
found
you
her
mean
really
the
hard
Firefly?
No, that's Marlene.
All
Tess
right.
is the one that you start off at the start. She helps you through
Oh
the tutorials
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
I found her quite tricky to think of, to be honest, because there's not many
Yeah.
badass white women. Do you know what I mean? Like that you see in movies these days that have kind of got that.
I think that she's maybe a little bit older that you could, so it's like
I
might be
went
trickier.
for Carrie Ann Moss.
Right.
I think they've got a similar kind of like look, potentially. You know Trinity from Matrix.
Oh yeah, maybe that could work. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking her maybe. I think they've got both looks. I think and she could be quite like in a couple of the movies that I have seen. Can be quite.
Yeah, if she let her hair down a bit and then you know
Yeah.
they did a bit of work on wardrobe, I reckon it could work. She's a decent
Yeah,
actor.
exactly.
She's been in Daredevil recently. She was alright. Pretty good in that.
Has she?
Yeah, she was in Daredevil. She's like, is it Daredevil? Oh no, it was. She's in that a tiny bit. I'm thinking Jessica Jones.
What? Who's she in Jessica Jones?
She's the lawyer, the like, you know,
Oh shit,
cold,
she is.
cold
Yeah,
lawyer.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, her then. Then Tommy, which is Joel's brother.
Oh yeah.
Him, you probably really won't know him, but like literally, he's the one that like, apart from the main characters, that like I knew straight away who I wanted. It's an actor called Nathan Parsons, and it was something. It was in something called The Originals, which is quite big. You know, like it's a spin-off from the Vampire Diaries. So, all right, a bit like, yeah, I know. But however, he
Vampire
basically
Diaries.
shut up. The Originals is better. It's a bit less gay. But anyway, so like Nathan Parsons, he plays this kind of werewolf in the Originals, and he's like proper country bumpkin. He's got this proper like rugged look and everything in this thing. He's got the accent for it. He's got the same kind of like attitude and demeanour that Tommy has in it as well. So if he was to lighten it, like could lighten his hair a little bit, I think he'd be fantastic for that. But literally, it's the first person that I thought of for Tommy. And then I guess the only other one is Marlene.
Yeah,
which,
I tell you, just off the top of my head, you know the actress in 28 Days Later and Bond.
Oh yeah.
Miss Moneypenny, she'd be quite good, wouldn't she?
Yeah, I guess she would be. I went for Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, that'll work. She's in Gotham, isn't she? Have you
Fish
have
Mooney.
you watched some of that? I haven't watched that in a while, but yeah, she was pretty
That's
good.
what
in
I
that.
thought. I thought she was wicked in
Yeah.
Gotham as well. And I think it's kind of cool that she's doing something completely different to what like
Yeah,
imagine her to be in.
Taking a risk and stuff is pretty cool. Have you heard her music stuff?
No.
It's like crazy. She's like thrash metal screamer.
What?
Like no shit. Like it was. I don't know if she's
Piss
doing it
off.
at the moment. No, seriously. A couple of years ago, like she was like touring with it, and she's with this like thrash metal band, and she was like, "Ooh," you know, all that sort of stuff. She's not like singing.
Fuck
she's
off.
like whatever the fuck that's called, and she's like, it was
No
like
way.
some hardcore shit. I was like, what the fuck? Not
Send me
what I
some links.
expected. I mean, it's perhaps on us for being like stereotyping it, but you think, oh, she'd probably be into R&B and blues and shit, but no, like
That's
proper
mental.
into hardcore
Saying that
metal.
though, what about that? You know, Flyleaf, the band. They've got that small, like little miniature girl or whatever that looks all sweet, and then she like starts like screaming and shit. Looks can be deceiving, people.
Yeah, it's true, but yeah, like it's not just looks though. We know a little bit about her, so
Yeah,
you wouldn't
like
think, would you?
you
But
wouldn't expect like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's wife to be into thrash metal, would you?
yeah, it's crazy, like proper hardcore as well. It's not like, it's not like screamo or anything. It's like,
Weird.
crazy.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's pretty much my list. Oh yeah, then there's Sarah, who's like Joel's daughter in Star. Like probably like Dakota Fanning. She's a really good actress. She's not in it a lot.
Too
but I
old
think
now though, but
Oh shit, yeah, forget about that.
do you know what
Well,
I mean?
she's got a younger sister.
Yeah,
Dakota
but
has got
her
a
younger
younger sister.
sister's like probably like 17, 18 now.
Perfect. Like, don't like 25-year-olds play like 17-year-olds in movies or something.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, like 30-year-olds and stuff. I think the black woman in Glee. I think she was like, do you know the chunkier bird?
Yeah.
She was like, I'm pretty sure she was like 30 or something.
Yeah. What about
She's playing like a 15, 16
out of Harry Potter?
or whatever.
Moaning Myrtle out of Harry Potter. She was like easily in the 30s or 40s.
Yeah. So yeah, you can pull it off, but yeah, I think cast-wise they'd be great films, but it's, even if you handed that cast over to Hollywood, it's 50-50 whether they'd screw it up, but yeah, I think they'd be cool.
50-50, more like, I don't know, 90-10.
They do make them work sometimes, but they
don't.
They're not good with. Here's the thing: usually the ones that are good films, like from, even especially with video games, like you were talking, adaptations. It's usually the really good ones that end up not being successful. Like Silent Hill, that was a really good interpretation of the film. The first Silent Hill, that is. I've not seen the second one. I've heard it's not great.
It's fucking terrible.
And so anime's a little bit, different. I'm hopeful to see what Ghost in the Shell is going to be like, but who knows? They'll probably fuck it up. So.
Well, it's inevitable. I don't have a lot of hope. Like, there's not many things that have gone. Yeah, they've done amazing for that. Like, from like taking it from something else and that. But but I think, I guess again, a lot of that's to do with my own pickiness. Like, I'm a reader and I like playing games, and I get really involved with the characters when I do. I proper put myself in their shoes and stuff. So I really relate and have this whole picture built up of whichever character it is. So then for someone else to portray that, if it's not spot on, then it's wrong.
It's like I was saying with Goku.
I
can't think of anybody in my mind that I could put as Goku. No one that exists that I know of.
Someone who's got to be physically fit.
It'd have to be a random.
Be funny.
It'd have to be a random. You'd have to do a crazy casting call, like Star Wars style, to find him. Because I just don't see it.
He'd have to be funny. He'd have to be serious as well as.
Yeah.
He'd have to be
Bison,
someone who's
skilled in martial arts, has a sort of half Asian, half Western look.
Caucasian, yeah.
Has crazy. You can make his hair look crazy dope. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it'll be tough, man.
It's challenging. Anyway, let's leave that one there. Wow, that's this month's Recon Cast done and dusted. I hope you enjoyed our shenanigans and tomfoolery, and don't forget to join in with our nonsense by posting your ideas for future topics in the comments. And as well as a name check, your topic could feature in an upcoming episode. Anywho, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more BS of a similar nature. Thank you, and goodbye.